Welcome, everybody, to the latest Independent Gyms webinar. This week, we are hosting a Meet the Brand webinar. This is where we chat to the partners that we work with. They could be the leading industry brands, or they could be smaller regional businesses, some of which are owner-occupied, so they're gym owners that also have a second business. This week, we're chatting with Paul Greaves. Paul Greaves runs Elite Fit Pro along with his gym in Harrogate. Very quickly, Elite Fit Pro has three sort of tiers to the business, if you like. So the social media advertising, web design, and then graphic design. So they all tie together quite nicely. Very quickly, let's get Paul on screen. Paul can tell you a lot more than I can in a lot more detail. So on that note, over to you, Paul.
Thanks, Robert. Great to be here, guys. So yeah, as Robert said, Elite Fit Pro is kind of my second business alongside our gym in Harrogate. It all kind of started back in college days. I studied graphic design, and then when I left college, I was slightly overweight. Found fitness in terms of went to the gym, started losing weight. Then became sort of more of a passion. I got a job as a trainee fitness instructor, developed into personal trainer, and ever since sort of 2004, I've been in the industry. I've always done my own kind of logos, branding, all throughout my sort of personal training startup. And I found back in probably about 2014 that there was kind of a gap in the market where people weren't really getting the value for money from sort of big design agencies. So I kind of started working with local businesses and other PTs within my area, doing websites, graphic design, and bits and pieces that way. Myself and Natalie started up our gym finally in 2021, post-pandemic, and that's when we joined the Independent Gyms Group. So that's where the tie-in comes there. In terms of where we are digitally, as we all know, the sort of landscape's changed for fitness. Everybody's online now, particularly during COVID. That was a massive change. But as you can see from the stats, there's 1.13 billion websites in 2023, and 52.2% of website traffic is on a mobile phone. So that's one of the considerations that we make, particularly here at Elite Fit Pro, is that everything has to be mobile optimized. In terms of the industry, its numbers have risen by 3.9% over the last year. The average membership's £44.92, which is about where we are, £45 a month. And it shows there 81% of consumers conduct an online research before buying anything nowadays. So having a web presence is particularly beneficial. We've found ourselves just by sort of increasing our Google Map ranking, our local search, we're getting a lot more leads just organically without even having to pay for sort of advertising and bits and pieces from our own website. And why choose us? So, as I say, I've got best part of 20 years of fitness industry experience and the same in terms of design experience as well. So that's why I find that I've got insider knowledge. I kind of know what does and doesn't work and what we struggle with as an independent, whether it's marketing against the big boys, sort of pure gyms and bits and pieces like we have in the area, or just if you're anything like me, admin wise, if you can streamline anything that side, it's the better. So we kind of look at everything from the whole business. So it's not just a case of, oh, you need a website, there you go. It's look at what your brand is, look at what your offering is, and look at how you can stand out. That's the biggest thing, especially as an independent. So if we don't have massive budgets, so you're looking at trying to target it. Our niche here in Harrogate is very much people that train. So it's kind of a bodybuilder gym, powerlifting gym, and we're probably in the older range, so maybe 25 upwards, because the young kids are all at the Pures. We've got a coach gyms as well, which is like a boutique nightclub effectively. So that's where our marketing is tailored towards kind of the couples market. We do offer classes, but it's very much a predominant weights-based gym. And that's what we do with you in terms of my approach would be to look at your business, look at what your target market is, and we even do some sort of avatar work based around that so that everything can be on point. In terms of what we offer, everything from social media marketing and website design. SEO, like I say, is a massive thing. So everyone can have a pretty looking website, but if it's not on the first couple of pages of Google at least, then you're just literally not going to get any traffic. Optimizing things like Google Business Profile is a key. So you're on the map, and that's all the different bits and pieces that we kind of tick all the boxes for. And then graphic design and branding. I think there is still a bit of a market for traditional, so leaflets, business cards. They can still work in the right areas. So I offer full end-to-end effectively, so I can do all the full design and print delivered to your door, and try and keep it pretty competitive, but still good quality, so better than like your Vista print and that type of thing. And then we've also just branched out into more sort of software and AI tools. So I've got FitPro Master Suite, which is an all-in-one sort of marketing software, and that brings everything together in terms of replaces tools like your social media marketing, for scheduling, your calendar, your CRM. That's another offering that we've got just now. And then, like I said, the AI tools is something I'm diving more into because it's the way the world's going. So I've got a few different bits and pieces that I'm leveraging at the minute for expanding content creation, streamlining the admin side of things, and I've got other bits that I can sort of implement into your own businesses to deal with that, things like chatbots and that type of thing. And then we've got an offer for the independent gyms, and that is 30% off all services. So I've got all the different bits and pieces on the website. Obviously, there's a lot to offer, and it's very variable depending on what each business needs. So we're offering 30% off everything.
Wow.
The easiest way is literally just give me a call or drop me a message on email. And that's not all. We've got one more thing as a bit of a freebie back to the sort of AI software. There's a couple of extensions, Content Scheduler AI, which is a Google Chrome extension, which plugs in, and that allows you to use your Facebook profile, your own personal profile, and schedule posts on there. Everyone can do that on the business page, but obviously the business page doesn't get the same sort of reach as your personal profile does. I'm not talking just use it for business, but I'm thinking anything that you're wanting to share, you can schedule in advance, and that's on your personal profile rather than your page. It also has the AI built in, so if you are wanting to generate a lot of content around a particular subject, you can leverage the AI that side as well. It's got a little calendar built in that you can schedule up front, so you can set and forget effectively. And the other one is Client CRM, which again, Google Chrome extension that drops into your Facebook Messenger, and you can set up different categories. Because if your Messenger is anything like mine, where you've got leads and personal conversations and all sorts of bits and pieces, you can actually streamline that and label them all so that you can see who's a hot lead, who's a cold lead, where they've come from, and categorize them all. And that actually talks back to CRM software as well. And you've basically got a choice of either of them. If you just literally go to the website, elitefitpro.co.uk/independent, fill in the form, and you can choose one or the other. That's just a little bit of a freebie, Alex Hermosi.
I'll get that dropped in when we post this video as well for you.
Perfect. And that's us in a nutshell, basically.
Love it, love it. So the sort of three, I've been scribbling things down as I go, but it will probably be pretty evident that I'm so far behind on technology and things that it will probably sound like I'm so far behind on technology. So here we go. A few things you mentioned, traditional marketing, and I completely agree with this. I think over the years, there's been such a rush towards digital advertising. I think we have to go that way, but people forget about the traditional marketing as well. Do you want to expand on those sorts of services again for us?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, leaflets are obviously it's hard to monetize or to get a return on investment in terms of you could go out and drop 5,000 leaflets and you don't necessarily know what return you've got of them. One thing I do always say is try and put some sort of call to action on there so it can be tracked.
Yeah.
But local coffee shops and bits and pieces like that, people still are picking up leaflets, still are reading things, seeing posters and bits and pieces, and it's a relatively cheap way of getting the brand out there. And I think if you use it alongside things like Facebook marketing, it just covers that touch point. So it's an extra, oh, I've seen that brand before. And they may pick it up. And if it's an irresistible offer, like we run a first month half price, and that seems to be our biggest seller to drive people into the business. So something like that on a banner or on a poster, or if you have somewhere with high foot traffic, a print media will still work.
I agree. And I think back 10 years ago, I used to get so much spam flyers through my door and I didn't look at any of them. And now I don't think I get any. So I always think as well, if not necessarily door-to-door stuff, but if a flyer came through the door from a gym, I'll name them. Pure Gym popped up in Redditch Move recently. They did the door drop flyer stuff, and it stood out because it was the only thing that I'd got that day. So I think there's definitely there's a lot of value in that traditional offline marketing. So 100%.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Like that. I've been scribbling down here. Google rankings. You've mentioned that as well. Do you think that's important for an independent gym, or do you think
Definitely.
it's
Yeah, I would think it's probably the easy, well, not the easiest way, but probably one of the most important ways of getting noticed. Because if someone moves to the area and they search gym, your location, if you're not showing up there, I mean, we've been shouting about ourselves for the last 2 years, and we still get people walking through the door. I didn't realize you were here. And Harrogate's not that big, and so running Facebook cards and doing all the usual bits and pieces. Our biggest sellers, like I say, is the first one half price, and we do a refer a friend as well, using sort of the ClubWrite software, and that works really, really well. But yeah, organic ranking is huge, and especially they say that like the map pack, the top 3 to 5 Google business pages, because that's where you get your reviews, and that's that social proof. We did a bit of a marketing ploy around that, where we gave away a free T-shirt for a review, and that's pushed us up the ranking. And off the back of that, we've had members walk in, whether that's day passes or weekly passes, because we do quite varied different offerings. So yeah, definitely, especially because the likes of David Lloyd, likes of Pure Gym, they spend thousands, even into millions, on marketing. They can blanket market everything. If you're not up there on the ranking on Google, you're just going to be sounded out by all them guys.
Interesting. I like it. I think again, because I'm not a tech-based one, I often wonder for a website, is this more for new members or members that want to come and interact? And I think if it's your existing members, they're going to find your site anyway. But thinking from the other way, for new membership particularly, very important. So yeah, like it. You mentioned, I think you used the word streamline your admin. I think automation is probably what everyone else talks about, isn't it? So how does the system, you mentioned your is it the FitPro Master Suite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that where the automation comes in?
That uses a lot of automation. So yeah, it basically brings all your mailing list software, your social media scheduling, your calendar, your CRM, everything in together. You can set up forms and lead forms, you can set up funnels, and you can set up triggers and automations. So if someone even sort of syncs with your Facebook ad, so say you're running a Facebook ad with a lead form, that will then capture the data back from Facebook into a CRM, and you can then schedule a follow-up call or a follow-up email and do that as an automation.
Nice. Yeah, so I think because independents tend to be streamlined from a staffing perspective, and a lot of the time the owner is doing the marketing, the selling, and all of this. So I think it's the automation element is essential to save you time, and probably what was it yesterday? Mental Health Awareness Day, and I think from a mental health perspective, to take something off your plate and let the automation do it for you, I think it's huge.
Yeah, and it's that whole thing of speed to lead as well. So if someone is inquiring, and if you are an independent and if you are busy doing other things and you don't get back to them straight away, there's kind of an expectation now that you will get back sooner. And if they're inquiring with 3 or 4 different providers and you're not one of the first back, chances are you could lose that sale. So something like that, where even if it's just a basic, acknowledgement that we've got your message, we'll be in touch within X amount of time, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think isn't the current trends, or just say the trends, the advice is to try to reply within 30 minutes now. I think they're saying. I mean, I'm old school, and I'd probably be a bit put off if somebody called me that quick. But I think within a particular, it's an Amazon generation, isn't it? We can do everything's Amazon Prime, next day delivery, instantaneous responses. So I think if you don't get some kind of acknowledgement, then you're missing a trick for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then the last thing I scribbled down was about particularly social media advertising and paid versus free. Because obviously paid can be very powerful, but I think you still get a lot of value out of free, say free advertising, social content that is non-paid for. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, leveraging groups, obviously leveraging your own social media pages like your Instagram profile, your Facebook page. The biggest thing with the Facebook pages is the reach has dropped massively ever since
Agreed.
it became sort of pay to play. I think it's 3% of your likes actually see your content
Wow.
without paying for it. So that's where obviously Facebook have monetized, and it's still a cost-effective way of doing it, but it's not as easy as it used to be. You used to put a post on your page, and a couple of thousand people would see it. So leveraging local groups is a big one, and being consistent with your content is the other one. Where, I mean, I fall down with that. I'll go through phases where I'll have a big splurge and do daily posts, and then I'll fall off and don't do anything for a while. So that's where I'm now starting to use sort of scheduling software and bits and pieces to try and batch create and get it scheduled out there.
Do you think there's a sweet spot in terms of how many posts a day? Because I've heard in the past some people saying 5 a day. You know, I mean, for me, that's like it's a lot of effort, a lot of work.
Yeah.
Where do you? What's your ideal sweet spot? What would you suggest?
At one point, I was doing kind of 3 times a day, and I found that was hard to manage.
Yeah.
I think one to two per day is more than sufficient for most people. And if you're focusing on different channels as well, because obviously you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got LinkedIn, you've got TikTok now. There's so many different sort of variants that you can use. But I mainly focus on Facebook and Instagram, and when I'm on it, I aim for at least a post a day.
Yeah, I agree. For me, the one a day, I think that shows you're still there. I think for me, if you have a week where there's nothing posted, it's kind of people think, hang on, where are they? Are they still around? Are they still going? So I think once a day is fine. I suppose from my only a bit of advice there would be to bring your team into play. If you've got PTs on the floor, they can easily film a bit of content for you to share. So we sort of use people in your team as well. So, and then use FitPro Master Suite to get it all out there.
Of course.
Very good. Cool. That is literally everything I've scribbled down. So all my questions are done. So just to summarize, obviously, 30% off everything that you do for members of the group, which is a huge discount. And then those 2 free tools, which one I've scribbled down, an AI content scheduler.
Yeah. For your own Facebook profile rather than your page.
Yeah. And then I missed the second one. I didn't scribble that down.
The second one is a CRM for your messenger.
That's the one, yeah. So 2 awesome tools, and we use this link that we've got on the screen, or we'll drop that in the comments in the when we post this video. So that's all the questions for me, Paul. Unless you've got anything to add.
No, I think we've covered everything.
Happy days. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to reach out to Paul Greaves is his surname. Also use this link here, or I'm sure it'll be okay with you grabbing him on Facebook, dropping him a message. But yeah, reach out to Paul if you want help with your social media, web design, and your graphic design. So on that note, Paul, thank you very much, and we'll see you all soon.
Cheers, Robert. Thank you.